Hello students, welcome to tutorial 2 on Dino Dance Party. Okay, so the dinosaurs are moving, they are dancing, but they're not moving around the dance floor much. So let's fix that. So from the sprites list, let's click on Dinosaur 2. Make sure you're on Dinosaur 2. Okay, we've already got a script for it, so we're going to add an additional script. So let's click on the events tab, the events blocks. Let's start with when the green flag is clicked. We'll go to the control blocks. We'll grab a forever loop. We'll snap it underneath. And then we'll go to the motion blocks and we're going to grab a move 10 steps and we're going to place it inside the forever loop. And then we're going to grab another block here. It's called if on edge bounce. If on edge bounce. So we'll grab that block and we'll place it underneath the move 10 steps, but inside the forever loop. Okay? Okay. So when we click on the green flag, you'll notice I want you to focus on dinosaur 2. It'll be the one moving left and right, and you'll see that when it reaches the edge of the stage, it bounces. So it reverses and goes in the opposite direction. But the problem is that the dinosaur is dancing upside down. So let's press stop. Okay, so let's fix that. So we're on dinosaur 2's sprite here. Let's click on the little eye. And then next to rotation style, I want you to click on the arrows going left and right. So this time when it hits the edge, it won't flip upside down. It'll just change directions. So let's click the back button here. Okay. All right, so now let's test it. Let's go to File, Save. All right, let's test it. Let's click on the green flag and focus on Dinosaur 2, and you'll see that as it gets to the edge, it no longer flips upside down. All right, let's press stop here. Okay. All right, so now let's take control of another dinosaur with our keyboard. So let's click on Dinosaur 3. Okay. All right, so we're going to build a little bit complicated script here. So we'll go through it slowly. So let's click on Events and let's start, as we always do, with when the green flag is clicked. Then let's go to Control and let's grab a forever block underneath. Okay. Then we're going to look for two if-then blocks. Now there are two kinds of if-then blocks. There's an if-then and there's an if-then-else. So we're going to focus on if-then and we're going to grab two of them here and we're going to have them separated by a little bit of a space. Okay. Let's go to the sensing blocks, the light blue blocks, and let's look for key pressed. So let's grab two key pressed buttons or blocks. Okay, so the first situation, the first key we're going to use is the right arrow key. So we're going to control Dinosaur 3 with the right arrow key and then obviously with the left arrow key. So for the second one, let's use the left arrow key. Okay, so let's put the first key right arrow pressed in the top arm of the first if-then block. Now be careful, don't put it inside, it actually won't go inside. Oh, it actually does, but I don't want it inside the loop. I want it in the top arm of the if-then block. And if you figured out how to do that, then let's do the second one. When the left arrow key is pressed, let's put it in the top arm of the second if-then loop. All right, so let's go to the motion blocks and let's grab point in direction. So we're going to grab two of these point in direction blocks. Okay, so for the first one, we want it to point in the direction of 90 degrees. Now, if you see 90 degrees is right, and that kind of matches up with this, right? We want it to match up with when the right arrow is pressed, it goes to the right. For the second point in direction block, we want to make sure that it's set to -90. And if you see here, -90 is to the left. So let's click on -90. And that corresponds with pressing on the left arrow key. All right, let's grab two move 10 steps blocks and snap them underneath. First, the first point in direction block, and then the second move 10 steps, sorry, we're going to pop underneath the second point in direction -90 degrees. Okay, so the first two blue blocks, they should be attached together, and we should be able to move them inside the if-then loop. Now the second set, we should be able to put in the second if-then loop. So if any of this doesn't make sense, just pause, rewind, and try to do it again. Okay, so these two if-then loops should now be able to be snapped together. Now, let's move the two if-then loops inside the forever loop here. So now you see that the forever arm goes around this whole thing. So please check your scripts very carefully. Okay, so finally, we've got Dinosaur 3 highlighted here in the sprites list. Let's click on the eye in the top left-hand corner, and let's change the rotation style again to left-right. All right, let's click back. Okay, so let's try it. Let's click on the green arrow, and I want you now to press the left key and the right key. Okay? And you should be able to take control of Dinosaur 3. All right, did that work? All right, press the stop button. Okay, so we've got 3 dancing dinosaurs. So let's add a ballerina to the stage. Okay, so let's click on a new sprite. Choose a sprite from the library. And then I want you to look for ballerina. So let's click on ballerina and let's click OK. Okay, so now we've got ballerina in the sprites list. If we click on the costumes, we see that the ballerina comes loaded with 4 different costumes or 4 different poses. Okay. All right, so let's click on the scripts tab, and we're going to build a script for the ballerina. So let's start with the events blocks. Let's grab a when the green flag is clicked. Then we'll click on the control blocks, and then we'll grab a repeat block and snap it underneath. And then we're going to change 10 repetitions to 3 repetitions. Okay. All right, let's look for the look blocks. And let's grab 2 switch costume blocks. Okay, and then have some space in between them. So the first costume we're going to use is Ballerina A. The first costume is the A costume. And then the second costume is going to be the D costume. Let's go back to the control blocks and let's grab 2 weight blocks and snap them under the 2 switch costume blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to change this to 0.5 seconds, from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. Okay. Okay, so we're going to snap these 2 pieces together here, and then we're going to move all 4 blocks inside the repeat loop. Inside the repeat loop. So again, I took these 4 blocks and I moved them inside the repeat loop. Okay, so we're going to add a second part to the ballerina's dance here. So let's grab another repeat block and we'll build it down here, and we'll change repetitions to 2 repetitions. Okay, we're going to go back to the looks blocks and we're going to grab 2 switch costume blocks again, very similar to the one we built up here. This time we're going to use costume A, and then we're going to use costume B. Okay. All right, let's go back to the control blocks And let's grab 2 weight blocks and snap them underneath each switch costume block. And again, we'll switch these to 0.5 seconds and 0.5 seconds. And we should be able to snap these together. And now we should be able to move all 4 of these blocks inside the repeat 2 loop. Now let's snap the repeat 2 loop next to the repeat 3 loop, or underneath the repeat 3 loop. Okay, so we want the ballerina to go through this dance performance, and then when it does, we want her to repeat that performance. So now we have to grab a forever block, and we're going to place this now underneath the when the green flag is clicked, and it should expand. And if you let go of the mouse, it should now have the 2 different repeat loops inside the forever loop. Now, if that didn't work, okay, you can try it again. Let me try it again here. Let me set up that situation. All right, I'm going to grab the forever loop, and I'm going to place it underneath the when the green flag is clicked, and it should expand. Okay, so let's go to File, Save. So let's see what happens. So let's click on the green flag, and this time I want you to focus on the ballerina. So it goes through one series 3 times, and then it goes through a second series twice, where she's kind of squatting down. Okay? All right. Let's press stop. So the last thing is you can position the starting position of these dinosaurs, of these dancers on your stage so that they don't all kind of run together. Okay, you can have them at different heights. Okay, whatever you like. Okay, and that's the starting position. So then when you want to see how it looks, click on the green arrow. Okay. Remember, you have keyboard control of that 3rd dinosaur as well. So make sure you're doing that action to see all of the dinosaurs, all of the actors doing their part. Okay, that looks awesome. So let's go to File, Save. Okay, so when you've got everything coordinated correctly, when you've got the positions of your dancers in the right spot, call Mr. Wade over to show him your Dino dance party. All right, great job on finishing this project. Thanks for watching. Bye.